Hey, what up, everyone? Thanks for being here on Decisive Talks. We got some people on live on the stream already. Nowadays I'm so busy, right? I don't even have time to schedule the event, so a lot of people don't even know what's going on. But we have something interesting for you guys here, right? So I'm Henry Ho, and I'm an entrepreneur, digital marketer, and most importantly, a software enthusiast. And today I have Yash, right? Yash Shah here. He's the one of the co-founders of Linkjoy. So in case some of you do not know what Linkjoy is a link in bio, Instagram bio link, and link shortening tool. Personally, for me, I find that their Instagram bio links are very powerful. There isn't many tools, at least on lifetime deal, that has the kind of features that Linkjoy has for Instagram bio links. I know that there are a lot of people out there who is crazy over Switchy. I mean, since a couple of months back, I've been seeing people just talking about Switchy, and I do agree with you that that's a great tool itself. But I personally feel that every single tool has their pros and cons, and where Linkjoy really stands out is definitely the Instagram bio links. And personally, I'm actually planning to integrate the Instagram link bio link from Linkjoy into my own business as well. So I'm actually very excited, right, to have Yash here to share about his background, right? So let me bring him on. Hey Yash, how is it going?
Hey, hey, hi, and it's going fine here. How are you?
Awesome, right? It's been going good for me this week. It's going on pace. Things seem to be uh, no not so busy for me anymore, right? So I think
It's good.
yeah, I think next week, I've got some stuff to clear up this week, but next week onwards, I think I've been talking about, trying to have a good community network, trying to maybe start a Twitch channel. I'm not sure if any of you see my comments in the community, right? But yeah, I plan to maybe stream gamings as well for fun once in a while, right? So I think hopefully I have some time for that. How about yourself, right, Yash?
Uh, it's busy. For us as well. We've been hard at work both on Linkjoy and on ClientJoy, and we're receiving feature requests and requirements left and right for Linkjoy, since it's a fairly new and recently launched platform. And so it's super exciting to be working with an active community and getting kind of feedbacks on the fly and converting all of those things into insights that the product team and the engineering then consume and implement within the product as well. And so it's been a super exciting past couple of weeks since we launched, I think on 8th or 9th. So it's today is actually 1 month since our launch on AppSumo. And it's been a terrific journey for us.
Wow, I don't even recall that it's already a month, right? I mean,
Yeah,
time moves so quickly. But
yeah,
I'm sure definitely you're gonna be really busy because you've got a lifetime deal running on AppSumo, and you are one of the AppSumo
yeah,
select deals, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So Yash, tell us a little bit about yourself, right? Where you're from, how did you get into
Mhm.
entrepreneurship, and what made you see or experience that made you decide to jump into the SaaS business. By the way, some of you
Mhm.
who don't know about Yash and Linkjoy, this is actually, I believe, this is your second product, right? I mean, your first product was
Yeah,
Client Joy, which was also on AppSumo previously. Yeah.
yeah.
So Yash, could you tell us about yourself then?
Sure, absolutely. So I did mechanical engineering in the investment banker for about a year and a half in Mumbai. And I have two of my amazing friends who are also my co-founders, and we've known each other for about 14 odd years. We've done school and college live projects together. And while we were at our jobs, kind of primarily wanted to work projects. And so this is way back in team, which is where we said to each other, hey, why don't we start just start off as a hobby, make websites for people, right? And so I would do sales, and my co-founder Abhishek would design those websites, and my second co-founder Anupama would code those websites. And over 5 6 months, we kind of started making more money with that hobby project than our full-time jobs. And we realized that this is our calling. We love working with each other, and so why don't we do this full time? So we started an IT service agency and grew that from a 3 people operation doing static websites to a 55 people building web and mobile applications in SaaS, fintech, and e-commerce over the next 3 years, 4 years. And so while we were working on that, we kind of realized that a large amount of our time is going into just client management. And so we were primarily using a CRM, and we were using some sort of a project management system, Slack and email and WhatsApp and QuickBooks and manual reconciliation of all the payments and so on and so forth. And so we said there's got to be a better way for agencies and freelancers to work. And so why don't we build a business operating system? Agencies. We ourselves have been an agency. We've built SaaS products before, and so this looks like could do together. And we had some cash reserves as well at that time. So I started on the journey of kind of trying to raise our first round of equity financing, and Abhishek and Anupama started on designing the first version of Linkjoy, which was at that grid. And how we the first version of Linkjoy the market, raised about $800,000 from a VC over here in India. Did a successful launch on PitchGround, successful launch on AppSumo. And then while promoting Linkjoy, we kind of realized that social media is not is essentially giving us vanity metrics of likes and followers and engagement, and we are not actually converting any traffic. And so that's where we kind of started looking through, what if we were able to build a small micro regarding link in bio and Instagram link and URL. So that's how we can. So this is I'm essentially compressing like an 8-year journey into a 2-3 minute answer. But, so it's moving really fast, but it was kind of a journey of discovery, and we made mistakes along the way, and we kind of learned well and improved.
Yeah, that's awesome, right? I mean, 8 years doing this. Um, I think jumping into the SaaS business is a great idea. Um, it's not that running an agency is not good or anything.
Yeah.
I personally feel that uh, so there was someone who commented because your camera is a little grainy, right? So
Oh, okay.
ask you to get some feedback. I guess
Sure.
internet connection is not very
Thank
stable
you.
there.
Thank you for that feedback. I will. The next streams will be better.
Yeah. So yeah, because I feel that when it comes to service business, it's not that service business is no good. I think it's great because you get a lot of cash. There is no need for you to invest into anything,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
but the downside is that it's not really scalable because the amount of
Yeah.
clients that you can get is actually based
Yeah.
on how how many people you have on hand, how many capable people you
Yeah.
have on hand, I would say, right? So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that is a limitation somewhere. And
Correct.
I saw this personally. I saw this very early in my business career, and thankfully, for that that I was able to have that kind of insight to realize that service business is not scalable. So personally, for me, I would jump into the product business, which is physical products, right? I started out with, e-commerce, and I realized that hey, this is great because because I could just keep selling and make money from it because
Yeah.
the factory is able, as long as I give them an order early to restock my.
Okay. I think uh, we lost Henry. Let me just one sec. All right. While yeah, his backcover has improved for sure. And let me just check whether it was I who got lost or Henry got lost. And so
Hey, apologies there. I think got a short
hey,
disconnect
you're back.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah. So I think. a great move, right, was for you to jump into the product business. Yours, of course, is a
Hmm.
physical product, or sorry, a digital product is a
Yeah,
SaaS product itself, and I think that's a great idea because it's a lot more scalable. And I mean, in terms of income wise, there is more earning potential in there, right?
correct.
So I think entrepreneurship is not easy, whether it's starting a simple blog or a simple, drop shipping website, whatever it is, or, starting a SaaS business like yourself that requires, technical skills to do so, right? Every entrepreneur faces
Hmm.
challenges as well, so could you share maybe yourself or your team, you have two
Hmm.
other co-founders, right? What were some of your lowest point of your life during the
Hmm.
entrepreneurship journey?
Yeah. So there was a little bit of a bittersweet moment when we first kind of launched Client Joy on Pitch Ground, and so this was in late 19 when we were launching on Pitch Ground, and our product launch and the Pitch Ground launch essentially was on the same day. And one of the things that happened was, so as soon as we went out in the market, we started getting a lot of interest, and a lot of users who were coming to the product and signing up and starting to use the product, and so on and so forth. We were 0 days old when we started getting a lot of attention. And we started getting, so we have a public kind of a Facebook community as well, which is where people, and they essentially started primarily like shouting at us, right? This product, you so many important flows in the product. This feature does not exist, that feature doesn't exist, and your roadmap has not been well thought through, and your design is good, but then there are certain micro features that you don't have, and the copy has this grammatical error, and this design is out of aspect ratio, and so on and so forth, right? And so that was really kind of a down day, because we'd been working on the product for about 6 odd months, and we were getting a lot of back, and most of that feedback was negative in nature, right? And but then if we so we then realized that the fact that it is negative in nature, it means that there are people out there who actually care what you're doing, right? And so we always firmly believe that the opposite of love is not hate, right? The opposite of love is indifference. And so if people were indifferent about what we were doing, they would not care to comment about it or talk about it, or let know what we were doing wrong. So this meant that whatever we were doing, forget if we forget the quality of it, we were doing something of importance, something of no, for our customers and for our potential users. And so it's fairly easy to convert hate into love than it is to convert indifference into love, right? Because if someone does not like my work, I already have their attention. I just have to do a couple of things right. We just have to make better features, we just need better products, and we just have to design, make a better roadmap, have better illustrations, have better onboarding, and we'll be able to convert their kind of hate into love. But if you're not paying attention, if you're indifferent, then it's super difficult. And so that was like a bittersweet moment. So we were really down. We sold through the roof, by the way, on our first 3 days as an LTD on Pitch Ground. However, we were getting all of this feedback, and it was primarily the way that we were thinking was, hey, we worked on this for 6 months, and this is what people are saying about the work that we've done, and so on and so forth. And then we kind of changed our perspective, and we started actually interacting with them. And so if you'll see, so I'm part of, like, I think 7 8 odd LTD communities, and I kind of very regularly interact with people who are not even, like, probably they may not even be talking about Client Joy or Linkjoy, but I still kind of go in there and comment, and kind of share my thoughts on it, and have a good debate, a good argument, and because it just ends up in an enriching experience for myself and for the team as well, because you learn things every day. And so that's when we brought in the thought process that our customer is a partner, right? And so we've got to figure out a better way of listening to. So that's kind of a very long answer like one of the most difficult days that we've seen for ourselves.
It's okay, right? I mean, we want to hear your story, right? That's what this
Yeah,
whole point of this live is all
yeah,
about. And I think that from your tone, right, of how you actually shared that particular phase of your launch, I could tell that it was quite it was quite a big wake up call for you guys.
oh yeah, oh
Was-
yeah, for sure.
right, and I can kind of feel like you guys are at that point where you're also excited, and then the feedback that came in was something that wasn't um wasn't what you expected, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
thought that
absolutely.
and this is kind of like how life is sometimes, not just in business.
Yeah,
You put in so much
yeah,
effort into something, right? And you think that everyone's
yeah,
going to love it, but sometimes it
yeah,
doesn't. But it,
yeah,
like what you said, right? I really like what you said just now, and I think that's a very good learning lesson for myself, is that
mhm,
the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifferent, right? When people stop caring about
yeah,
you, I mean, people just
yeah,
like they just don't want to have anything to do with you anymore. And I think that
yeah,
is it not I mean, when it comes to personal relationship, it's the same way as well.
yeah,
But when it comes to your product, right, you
mhm,
just don't know where to grow if there's no more feedback that's coming in,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And that's why I personally love the LTD community. And if you see me around in
yeah,
and maybe in some other LTD, some of the LTDs, the SaaS LTDs groups itself, you see myself
mhm.
giving feedbacks, giving suggestions every now and then, just to make sure that my own LTD investments value go increases, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
No, no, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just for myself, but I mean, when you guys grow, it helps me to grow as well, right? It doesn't make sense
Yeah,
for me to invest into your tool, and I just don't see any improvement that's coming in, right? And you
yeah,
guys, when you guys improve, I'm sure you guys going to get more customers as well, right?
for
So
sure.
how did you so the name, Client Joy and Linkjoy, why do
Mhm.
you choose the name Joy? How did you or your co-founders came up with that? Does it have any meaning, or you just want people to spark joy?
So it started. So the joy aspect of it kind of started from this, right? So when we were running our own IT agent, the one of the things that we understood really well was that more than 60-70% of our business was going to come from existing business, right? So people who were getting us to build their SaaS products and their e-commerce marketplaces and their fintech applications, they are going to help us find our next customer and find our future customers. And so the goal at our IT agency was, and this was a very this is a very regular conversation that we had internally, was how do we offer joyful experiences? How do we surpass our clients' expectations? How do we always under commit and then over deliver? And it was that kind of kept the wheels churning and kept the lights on and helped us grow from the 3 people operation to 55 people operation over the next 4 years. And we thought that every agency in the world should hope to offer joyful experiences to their clients, because if they do that, then their existing clients will work with them more, them often, and they'll also get them new business and they to sustainably grow in the agency business. And so that aspect of our internal conversation, the joy aspect, that became the mother brand. And so since Client Joy helps agencies and freelancers to offer joyful experiences to their clients, it's called Client Joy. And then with Linkjoy, you get full experience yourself, measuring how your links are performing. And so kind of the mother brand, and then everything that we do will have XXX joy, right? So something XYZ joy. Just that's the
Yeah,
idea.
that's awesome. Just give me a second here, because I'm my my speaker battery is low. Just give me a second here.
Sure. And so while you do that, I'll also share one of the mistakes that we made in the meantime, which kind of relates to the challenge that you mentioned previously, right? Or what is the lowest point? And so one of the mistakes that we made, while we were building Client Joy for those 6 months, was primarily where so we used to be an IT agency, right? And so we were to do as the client asked us to. So let's say if you were our client and you were getting us to build a SaaS application for you, if you say the button is green, the button is green. If you say this is the copy, this is the copy. If you say this is how the design flow should be, that's how the design flow is. However, when you're building a SaaS product, you don't have clients, you have customers, and you don't have information. You have to create the skill to get insights out of those conversations. And so one of the reasons why we had a lot of negative feedback at the time of our launch was primarily because the first 6 months of building the product, we were still behaving while we were building we were still behaving as if we were an agency. And so we were building what we thought is the correct way to go about it, without actually having to go to the market and understand what their problems were and their requirements were. And so just while you were looking at the speaker issue, I'll kind of add to the previous answer that I gave. And yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing with us about that. So I mean, we've got quite a few agency owners in the community as well, right? And I'm sure that
Mhm.
maybe some of them ever thought of building up their own SaaS idea as well. And I think this is something to take note from Yash as well, because you deal with clients all day and you think that
Mhm.
the clients suggestions might be the best, but actually you're dealing with clients, you're not dealing with the end customers, right? So it's a different
Correct.
perspective altogether.
Correct.
And one thing when it comes to also the LTD community is we've got a wide range of I would say wide range of people from all different kind of backgrounds, business
Oh yeah.
backgrounds, I would say. We've got people like we've got writers here, we've got artists here, we've got a whole bunch of uh like professions that I've not even come across
Yeah.
myself. Right, I don't even
Yeah.
know people personally who are in this kind of professions, and it gives you a lot of different perspective as to how you can
Yeah.
actually maybe some small tweaks can actually help you to
Mhm.
turn your SaaS to reach a whole different demographic altogether. And I think
Yeah.
that's the the beauty about working with the community here, right? And I think about your how the name came about, sparking joy, and I do like that as well. One thing that I realize is that when it comes to names, I like to ask about your product names as well, because it tells me like the perspective of the founders
Yeah.
themselves. Like some tools, they are named with a more I'm the best kind of uh perspective, right? Some is like
Mhm.
we, some is come like some is come with a I perspective, and then some is like we, what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a different kind of perspective. When you talk about client joy, link joy, your perspective is
Yeah.
always about making sure that people are happy with what you have created, right? And whereas some tools are less about that, you know
Yeah.
but of course, because
Yeah.
founders come from different backgrounds, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So so could you share with us, right, where you think Linkjoy stands out from your
Mhm.
competitors? And because since you guys are a much younger business, right, how do you think you can compete in this niche? Because there's so many bio links, there's so many out there. We've got high pitch. I think I heard they came back on lifetime view or something like that. They ended and then came back.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, I mean, the high pitch was a good one. Personally, myself, I use TapLink, and a lot of
Mhm.
tools actually. When it comes to bio links, it sort of becomes
Mhm.
like a add-on feature, not as a main
Yeah.
feature of the product anymore, right? So how do you think you can compete? Because when they give it as like this is something free for you to use, like value
Yeah.
add product, you know what I mean? So
Sure.
it's kind of like they're offering for almost free kind of thing. Then how do you think you can
Mhm.
compete? Like why should people pay and get a BioLink service? That's one of the biggest question already, right? And then sometimes when
Sure.
I share about, hey, you guys should get high page, or you guys should get Linkjoy for the Instagram bio or
Mhm.
whatever it is, and then people will comment in there and say, why do I need this? I could just use WordPress and create with an
Yeah.
Elementor page builder or something like that, right? So how would you respond, right, to this kind of people, and how do you think you can compete in this niche itself, where it's so competitive?
Sure. Absolutely. So great question, right? So let me start off by talking about how we are different or better than our competitors. And so you're correct in pointing out that the market is super super crowded. Almost at least every quarter, there is a BioLink tool that gets launched, right? Just on AppSumo. And so there are more on Pitch and Stack Social, and obviously there are a lot more outside the community world. And so there are three key differences, right? Two of them exist as of now. Of them is something that we are going to bring in a bit. So the first difference is that Linkjoy is primarily one tool with all of your BioLink and requirements as far as any of your links are concerned, right? So if you're using any of the tools that you mentioned, you'll have to use at least two of uh, or at least two to kind of completely engulf like your own personal use case, right? So that's the first thing, that we kind of have 100-degree, a 360-degree kind of an overview as far as everything that you have to do with links is concerned. So that is one. The second way how we are different and better, is as you also kind of rightly pointed out to us on a regular basis now, which is the Instagram BioLink feature, right? So which is where it helps you convert your Instagram profile essentially a shopping cart. I mean, essentially like a product store, where all of your posts can carry links. You can add custom scripts, you can add Facebook tracking pixels, all the tracking pixels, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that kind of reduces the effort from a digital marketing standpoint by
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah, let me just kind of jump in and emphasize on this
Sure.
point here, right? For those of you who are watching this stream right now, where I feel that where Linkjoy really stands out is the Instagram bio links. So what an
Mhm.
Instagram bio link is kind of like it's kind of like it's a bio link page, but the interface kind of looks like Instagram, where you show all the individual images and in there, and whenever someone taps on one of the pictures, right, it redirects them to a page. So you can have like maybe a picture of your a product that you sell on your e-commerce store, and when people tap on that, is they are being taken to the product page itself. And
Yeah.
or if you run a blog and you post some of your cover images for your blogs, or let's say you have a YouTube video, you can put a picture of that, a screenshot of it, and then when people tap on it, it directs them to wherever you want them to go, right? And that makes
Yeah.
everything, is great for I would say, as an Instagram bio link for like content
Mhm.
creators, or e-commerce stores. Yeah. So I mean, just want to bring up, because a lot of people just ask me, what's the difference? Instagram bio link and bio link, what's the right? So I just want to
Yeah.
bring that point up. Yeah. So yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Please go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. So these two are the things that we third thing, which is something we're going to bring in I think in the next quarter, is the fact that you'll also be able to if you're an agency and if you're doing so for your clients, then you'll also be able to invite your and to link, and then they'll be able to see their links and performance of their links, whether it through link retargeting, whether it has been created through link in bio, all of those links and their performances in their client portal as well, right? And so your So currently what happens is whatever tool that you're using, you still create links on that tool, and then you kind of share it over email, and then 3 months later, 4 months later, you don't know where it was shared. The client kind of has a and there's no way for them to see real-time analytics, and so with they'll also be able to see real-time analytics of any link just. So that's the third one, which is something that we are going to bring about, and just so that just to clarify, them will come with unlimited clients. We don't want to cap your growth, so you can have limitless number of clients and then kind of invite them and then add them to the client portal as well. About the first thing that I also want to kind of emphasize a little bit is the fact that, see, ultimately the link business, so the advantage all the three parts of with your links in one place is the fact that you'll be able to manage all of your like Facebook pixels or Google Analytics tracking ID or your custom scripts or your custom domains or your 404 page redirects. All of these things are managed in one single place. So you don't have to like set them up in two different places, and then whenever, if and when there is a small change to change it in different like that, you make those changes in settings of Linkjoy, and it kind of reflects across all the three links. And so that's a very powerful advantage of link platform that kind of does everything that you need it to. And having said that, as far as any competitor is concerned, what I would recommend, and this is something that I've kind of iterated in all of the comments as well, that I could list out all the features that Linkjoy has, and I'll list out all the features that they have. By reading the list of features, you'll still not be able to make a decision. And so comparison charts and comparison pages, all of them are super biased, whether it is we who do it or whether it is a competitor that does it. And so what I'd recommend is that what I'd recommend is that you know your use case the best, and first offer at least day free trial at the minimum. So sign up these 2-3 different products and platforms, and then make a decision for yourself as to which one kind of fits your use case, right? So I could have a much more larger feature set than my, but if it does not fit your use case, then those larger features, larger limits of, they are of absolutely no, right? Because it is kind of like a glove, right? And so the hand is your use case, and the glove has to fit your hand. It doesn't matter whether the is larger or how large the glove is. It's got to fit my how to choose between products. About the second thing that you asked around like why not just create a page on WordPress, and why not do whatever it is that like you can also customize your WordPress
Yeah.
page and kind of make it similar. So it's important to understand the goal of these tools and stuff like that. The goal of these BioLink tools is not to give you out of this world customization capabilities. No BioLink tool in the way can do more than what you can do on WordPress, right? And so it's
Yes,
not
that's right.
the capabilities of BioLink tool that you want to look at. It's not, you cannot compare it that on WordPress I'm able to do all of the things that I'm able to do on BioLink tools as well, and so why not just do it on WordPress? You can do like 5 times more things on WordPress as well. The thing
Yes.
that the BioLink offers, for that matter, offers to you is the amount of time that you can save, right? Wanting to create a link in bio or the BioLink tool, or shortening your URL, or creating your tracking parameters, and so on and so forth. So the value is not in the capability of uh, in enhancing the capability of WordPress, Squarespace, whatever it is that you're using. The value comes from the amount of time that it saves for you, which can be spent doing something else, right? And so that's my answer to why it should not be done WordPress or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I do definitely do agree with that as well. And another thing is that if you are building it on WordPress, unless you're building it on like a separate subdomain with your own hosting, then maybe it might be much better to use a biolink tool to have them host it for you instead, right? So
Yeah.
Yash, right, what do you see in the future of Linkjoy, right? What excites you the most where it is heading?
So, so the super exciting aspect for us is having one of the thing that has been a fundamental shift in how businesses communicate with their customers has been social media, right? And so, largest of the largest businesses need to have their social media accounts, and they have the same restrictions put on them as I. So Tesla has the same restriction on Instagram that I have for my own business, right? And which is essentially um, social media and kind of everyone plays by the same rules. So the most exciting part for Linkjoy going forward is to help these agencies, and is to help freelancers and affiliates and entrepreneurs, and all of these people get 10x out of their social media, right? So one of the things that we are consistently working on is educating our targets customer that engagement, likes, comments, these are vanity metrics, and you need to focus on the number of people who are clicking through and then doing what you actually want them to do and help you generate revenue. And so please don't focus on of those things. So that's the first thing that we are super excited about. The second thing that we are super excited about is having 1 million people using Linkjoy on their social media profiles. So we are at a very small percentage of the goal that we've set for ourselves over the next 5 years, but that's kind of primarily where we want to head to.
Awesome, right? That's a big goal, right? And
Yeah.
I hope you guys achieve that as well. Uh, I think so. So would you say that Linkjoy is much more geared towards agencies to use?
So
Because
I would
you
say
mentioned
I'd say
agency
that
quite a few times, right? Yeah,
yeah. So I'd say that if you are an agency, you will get things within Linkjoy that no other LinkedIn tool or platform offers. But at the same time, if you're an affiliate, individual, influencer, entrepreneur, you still get an equal amount of value. So the only difference is that if you're an agency, you just end up getting a little more value from Linkjoy, because it the client management features that we are going to bring in the next 3 months, they end up saving a little more of your time as an agency, and that's kind of primary coming from.
I see. I see. Okay. So basically, what you're saying is that any individual can also make use of Linkjoy. It's just that
Yeah,
you have a agency sort of client management feature in Linkjoy
yeah,
that is actually not that is not really available through other link sort of bio link services out there,
correct,
right?
correct.
Okay, that's very clear to us, right? So, if it's not confidential, right, would you also be able to share, certain plans? I know you mentioned about the client management feature that's coming out in
Mhm.
probably the next quarter, right? But could you share maybe, let's say, if
Yeah.
we jump in and we invest into Linkjoy right now, what will we be able to see in, let's say, in the next 6 to 8 months time?
Sure. It's not confidential. That's number one. So I'd be happy to share. Absolutely. So we have, by the way, we have a roadmap that's publicly available, and so anyone who's listening to this can head over to roadmap.linkjoy.io to get more context on what I'm about to say. I'm essentially going to share fairly similar information with you, but that has like a lot richer explanation and stuff like that, and so you can go through all of those things as well. So in the month of August, bringing in the major things that we are bringing in are templates in the curated page. Curated page is what we call link in bio internally. Our users will be able to change whatever campaign title that they've created, and we are bringing in the import functionality for links. So let's say if you've been using any of the products, so let's say if you've been using Bitly, if you've been using TapLink, if you've been using whatever link management tool, if you want to import all of your links, then you can just export from there and import here. So this will make things simpler for new people who are going to come on in. September, we are going to bring themes for in bio. We're going to bring our Chrome extension. We are bringing in geolocation and management of size of the image. And currently we don't have delete custom domain. So no user requested the feature of delete custom domain, but we should have as a sanity this thing that, if you're for your client and your client has if your client has asked you to delete their domain, then you'll be able to delete the domain from Linkjoy as well. And then in the next 6 odd months, we'll be bringing in deep linking, roles, permissions. So roles and permissions is what I shared about having client management features. We'll be bringing in the concept of workspaces. We'll integrate with Patreon, advanced analytics of page builder, exporting of data from Linkjoy as well, advanced filters, and so on and so forth. So that's lots of exciting stuff ahead. We kind of feel like we're just starting our journey. Most of the things that have been written on our roadmap have been added because of the feedback that we've received from people in different communities in our own way, and in different communities, much like yours, and a couple of other communities as well.
I see. I see that you have a Chrome extension that is coming up, right? What would we able to achieve with the Chrome extension?
Very, very simple. So what a lot of times what might happen is, let's say there's a small use case where let's say you're an affiliate, and you're an affiliate for let's say PitchGround or AppSumo. So let's take AppSumo as an example. You're an affiliate for AppSumo, and you want to very, very quickly convert all the affiliate AppSumo URLs to your own custom domains. And so what we'll be able to do is that there'll be a Chrome extension. Instead of going Linkjoy and then logging in and going to retargeting and then filling out all the details, you'll be able to set those defaults. Just go to Chrome extension, put in the affiliate URL, convert that to your own URL, and then just click save, and it will be published, right? So right there and then. So taking like a flow that would take you normally in clicks and about 5 to 7 minutes, and then reducing that to a flow that will take you like 3 clicks probably, reducing that to like 10 seconds. So that's like a very specific thing that the Chrome extension will be able to do.
Sorry, so you mean that with the Chrome extension, right? I can just open up the Chrome extension and then put in the page that I want the link to reach, and then you will add
Yeah.
the affiliate tracking end of the URL for me, is it? Is that what
No,
you
so the
are doing?
affiliate link. So let's say, so AppSumo uses Impact, right? You
Yes.
log into it, you get the affiliate URL from Impact. Just copy that URL, open the Chrome extension URL, and it will shorten the link with your own custom domain you have configured in Linkjoy previously, and then just publish, and you're good to go. So normally what you'd have to do is you'll have to go to Linkjoy, log in,
Yeah.
go to
Okay.
link retargeting, and then do the
Yep.
whole flow, which is like 3-5 minutes long, and like takes 9-10 clicks, and you have to do this for all the products that you're doing, so on and so forth. This will reduce that to like 2 clicks and like 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lot more convenient, right? That's how I
Yeah.
find when it comes to link shortening links, right? It's a hassle to do so as well.
Yeah.
What I feel also, I see that you have deep linking in there, and also you've
Yeah.
got integration with Zapier that is coming up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
How I feel about because I use a couple of different link shortening tools myself, and what I've realized is that when it comes to the integration and automation with some link shortening tools, is that it does not allow me to have it automated and shortened with deep linking, right?
Okay.
So most of them does not allow me to do that. So so the problem with me posting my videos on my Facebook groups is that when people click on them, it opens up the Facebook browser instead. And people actually watch my videos through the Facebook browser, which is not
Sure.
as good as an experience of
Of course.
actually watching it on YouTube itself. So,
Of course.
you
Of
know,
course.
I was wondering, you know, if you guys have have those plans in mind as well, where you know I could do a link automation and have that deep link you know being set up as well.
So,
Yep.
so that's a question. I will be very honest with you. I don't have this right now, because
Yeah.
we'll start. The thing, obviously, if you do it like manually, the deep linking will allow you to do that. But
Yep.
having that deep linking happen with the automation is something that we've not done enough research. So we don't have a scope document, we don't have a design, don't have we don't really have the structure in place for me to be able to confidently say a yes to that or a no to that right away. And so, because the research part of automation, we've done automations for client joy. We have public APIs and webhooks and stuff like that, which you can check out on developers.clientjoy.io, and we'll be replicating the same structure on Linkjoy as well. The research on that will start by end of September, right? And it will take us about 15, 17 odd days. So we'll start by mid September, reaching out to and having, and then by end September we'll be putting a documentation in place, and then design and stuff like that. So about deep linking with automation, something that I won't be able to answer right now, but of course deep linking is something that doesn't need any research. It's very simple, and so that we will have for sure.
Yeah, I you know because I have always been thinking, right, because if I can trigger a video via YouTube. By the way, I'm a you know automation the maniac, right? Right, I like to you know save a lot of time in my life. So because I put
Sure.
out a lot of videos on YouTube. So whenever, so what I want is like you know like YouTube video being you know is published, then I can automatically have a link shorten and deep link and send the
Got it.
final URL to myself in Discord.
Got
Then
it.
I can just grab that link and publish it, which saves me a lot of time. I mean, that's just something, you know, something that I'm trying to create for my own personal, you know, productivity, right? Just a idea
Right.
there. So, could you share about your
Right.
team, right? Because I'm pretty amazed that you have a team of 55 over people. So, how many developers, customer support, or designers do you have that is actually working on Linkjoy? And how are they like? You know, do they help you to keep you more? Oh, sorry, keep you motivated to want to create the vision of um link joy that you have, any fun activities that your company has that help you to bond with your team, you know,
Sure.
keep them around
Sure. No,
longer.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So just a small point of clarification. We used to be a 55 people when we were an agency, but then when we started building our own product. So since we were an agency, we used to work in a lot of different technology stack, right? So we were working in PHP and Python and Node.js on the back end, and we were working on React.js and Vue.js and in all of those things on front end. We were AWS and Google Cloud and Microsoft Azure and on React Native, Ionic, hybrid, and then native apps as well. So we had a much larger team because we had to have all of these different tech stack people within the company. Now that we are working on just the product which has only one tech stack across client joy, we are about a 29 people team, right? About 30 people team. We just had our intern join us today, so we are about a 30 people team as of now. Out of those 30 people, about 17, 18 of them are engineers. And so there's a very clear demarcation. About half of them work on Linkjoy, half of them work on Clientjoy. And so there are some people who work on both Clientjoy and Linkjoy in one aspect, because there are things that are common, right?
Yep.
So as an our sign up is common, our server handling, our user roles and rights is kind of common. A lot of design aspects are common. The media handling is common, and so on and so forth. And so there are some people who work on essentially both of them, that powers both Clientjoy and Linkjoy, but the demarcation is fairly 50-50 on both Link and Clientjoy. And then we've got 4 people in design team, which includes one co-founder as well. And so these guys are UI UX graphic designers. And then we've got about 8 odd people who work with us on growth, right, which is where we produce kind of our content and our own video content and everything that we do. And so that's kind of a small little team of about 29-30 people that we have, and we do a lot of bonding exercise actually. So today I'm in a traditional dress, which you might not be able to see, but we have so this time our Independence Day, which is on 15th of August, is falling on a Sunday. And so today we are celebrating our Independence Day within the company. And then we launch resources. And so we did a small experiment of earning $90. And so since that was not something that like our company is going to have as a full-fledged revenue channel, but it was an experiment, it worked out, and we got some money out of it. And so we're going to have a dinner today, a dinner for the whole team, because that experiment kind of worked. And then and we play like every other week. We go out to play this game called cricket, which is
Yep.
played often in India and this part of the world, primarily. And
Yep.
so yeah, so there are a lot of kind of different things that we do. We have a team Clientjoy account on Instagram. This is where we kind of have a behind of what's happening with the team at Clientjoy and how we are building it, and stuff like that. But so that's kind of so we kind of play at the same time.
Awesome, right? So I think that's a very great idea. Having going out and doing sports together as a company. I think that's an amazing idea, right? So,
Yeah.
what are some challenges right now? I mean, you shared some challenges when you were starting out and when you are first launching your very first product, Clientjoy, right? How about right now? Like, what are some challenges or big hurdles that your company is actually occupied with currently?
So currently, so there are 2 parts. So there's one challenge that we have as far as growth is concerned in Clientjoy, and there's one challenge that we have, which is as far as product is concerned in Linkjoy. See, whenever a product is available, any product for that matter is available on lifetime deal, user and customer acquisition is fairly simple, easy, and fast, right? So you get a lot of customers, put in a lot of effort, or any effort for that matter, right? You just have to make sure that your website is up and you'll kind of get customers. And so that's the stage where Linkjoy is at. And so the challenge primarily currently on the product aspect, in the sense that how do we kind of scale this up, and how do we build more use cases and bring in more use cases within the product. So we are currently facing challenges in terms of identifying insights from conversations that different Facebook groups, from conversations that are happening with our internal support, from the that we kind of look at ourselves, and in terms of the direction that they are heading on. And so that's the challenge that we have from Linkjoy standpoint. From Clientjoy standpoint, how we moved on from LTD and now started our journey towards building a sustainable monthly recurring revenue. Our channel is fairly simple. So we have awareness, interest, desire, action, active conversion, referral, right? So our first half of the funnel, which is awareness, interest, desire, and that is something that is performing really well. And so if you head over to clientjoy.io/universe, we have a lot of resources that we've built, which we use as lead magnets, and we've been able to acquire like 25,000 odd subscribers through those magnets, essentially for free. And so that aspect is working really well for us. But then following that, activation, conversion, and referral, that is the part of the funnel that we are currently focused on and currently working on, as to how do we reduce customer acquisition cost, how do we increase value. What we are on a journey of discovering our pricing. Currently, we have 9, 19, and $49 in pricing, and then we are kind of trying out internally what incentives do we offer to our newly signed up so that they become our paying customers, and then continue to offer incremental value to them, and so on and so forth. I'd say most of this on the client is obviously there are challenges on the product side in client joy as well, but then they are mostly sorted out because I mean there is a possibility that we don't have a particular feature, but then there's an even greater possibility to know about it, and so we have to build it in the future. It's already on the roadmap, and so the client challenges are on the growth in terms of how do we convert more signups into paying customers, and then the Linkjoy challenges are more on the product front as to what are the insights that we can get by talking to as many people as possible in different forums and platforms to be able to make informed decisions about the product. And so that's kind of an overview of the challenges that we're facing right now.
Awesome, right? So thanks for sharing all that information with us. I was wondering that do you guys actually have a sales team as well? Like, do you call up leads as well to try and convert them
No, we
into
don't.
a I see, I
We
see.
don't. So we have a marketing team that works on the first half of the funnel. So they bring relevant people to sign up, and then we success team, which offers support, does demos if the user asks for it, and then does a white hat migration to them and stuff like that. And so the product and the customer success team, both of them are essentially supposed to automate themselves in a way that they are the salesperson of the product, and the marketing is kind of just filling the funnel from. So that's kind of what we have at $9 per month. For a freelancer in MRR, we cannot really afford to have a cold calling or a cold email or something like that as a setup.
Sure, no problem. I think that's what is important, right? Having that customer success team
Yeah,
to actually reach out and help the someone who just sign up, right? I think that's very
yeah,
important. Not just sign up, but I mean sign up as a free trial, whatever. I think trying to get these people who are on free trial to convert into your paying MRR plans, that would be very 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 good for your business, right? So how do you feel about
yeah,
launching a lifetime deal then? I mean, if this is not your first rodeo now, right? How do you
yeah.
feel about launching a lifetime deal? Like, why are you
I feel like I have
yeah.
a couple. So I feel like I have. So now I have a good grasp how to launch a lifetime deal, how to position launch, what are the things that you should be ready with when you're launching a lifetime deal on any platform for that matter. Um, and I think a lifetime deal is a good not to have, because as a maker, you build things, and that's something that kind of gives you happiness. And so there's a good saying that I heard, right? That for a product to be successful, for the product to be good, it's a necessary condition and not a sufficient one, right? And so you've got to build a good product. And the other quote that I kind of live by is the fact that first time entrepreneurs are obsessed with the product, and second time entrepreneurs are obsessed with distribution. And launching a lifetime deal on AppSumo or any of those platforms is a great way to kickstart your distribution. And the community is super helpful, even when they are negative, and even when they write nasty comments, or even when they are saying things that might hurt you first. And that is just amazingly helpful, because it kind of builds two things. It builds your character, and it also helps you build the product well. And the second thing, which is like, there have been moments where I've almost cried when I started receiving a couple of people in the community, right? Actually, and just saying half the world away, they have absolutely no idea who you are, what your background is. And then these guys are messaging me saying, hey, this a good product. It kind of solves my use case. Thank you for building it and stuff like that. And it's a brilliant feeling. I've never. It's just amazing. So the LTD community at its worst, will build your character, build your product, and at its best, it just feels amazing. This is a feeling that I've never had. 7 8 years of business. Launching. So this is super amazing.
Thanks for saying that. I think that is just amazing because you have put it. I mean, I have placed a lot of founders on my show before, and this is a very first different perspective. That I mean, it is a positive perspective, but it's a very different angle that you're actually saying this, right? Is that even at its worst, right? I mean, the community, there are definitely some people who are really critical. I can name quite a few of them off the top of my head, and and I'm sure some of their name pops up as well sometimes, and I should
Yeah,
probably you would be able to identify them. But I would say that I
yeah,
mean what you said is just so correct because those that are highly critical, right? They help you to build your character, right? And those that
yeah,
are
yeah. Absolutely.
and those that are great, I mean those who are really nice and helpful, give you positive feedback, they are the ones to help you to keep going as well, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that's amazing perspective that you are putting it in because sometimes I get founders that just come in. I mean, they definitely will not appear on my show because they don't like to deal with the community. But I do see some of them saying, oh, the community is the LTD's community is very toxic and stuff like that. I just don't feel it that way. They should look at it from a different perspective. That's what I would think. So, right. Uh, so thanks for sharing about that. This last question. Okay, I think I want to put two last questions for you. That's a little bit more challenging, right? We had I mean, there was a small little controversy. I think a couple of weeks back. I don't really recall what was it about. But a competitor of yours, and I can say for sure that he is quite protective over his tool, right?
hmm,
He's quite protective, and I mean, of course, I think he has the right to be that way as well because
of course.
he put in a lot of effort into his own tool as well.
Yeah,
But sometimes, sometimes people can overreact a little bit. Um, and I don't blame him for that. I think he is justified to say what he wants. But I was just wondering, you know, like how do you feel about because I see a lot of SaaS business doing this. It's like at the bottom of the footer, right? They would actually put this kind of articles up where it's blah 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 versus Linkjoy, blah 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 versus someone else.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
how
yeah.
do you feel about that? I mean, because it's not easy. Firstly,
Hmm.
it's SaaS business is always a evolving product, right? Last month it could be these features, but next month it could be a different set of features altogether. And
Sure.
when the tables are being displayed, I could tell you that I have this feature, but it's actually not a very deep feature. It could be a very surface
Correct.
one. We wouldn't
Correct.
know. And it could be structured in a way that doesn't really give a very good idea about the comparison itself, right? So how do you feel
Yeah.
about SaaS business doing stuff like that? I do think that it's a great idea, but uh to actually be fair and for everyone, it's your team has to constantly be monitoring your competitors as well, just to
Yeah.
update this content, right? But at the same time,
Yeah.
if you don't want to get in the crossfire of with someone else, then you got to be doing this as well. I'm sure putting comparison tables like that is going to help you to get a little bit more sales, but the effort of keeping it updated and accurate and factual, I think that's quite a bit of effort involved, right? What do you think about
Yeah.
SaaS businesses doing something like this?
So, I can that most SaaS businesses who do something like this, it's not by it's because a lot of so if I share with you our support chat, right? Almost everyone will because people don't have time, right? And so they want their work done themselves. And so a lot of people will ask, how different from XYZ tool, how are you different from PC tool, and just share the link and something like that. So we would share that, and so it is essentially the market that forces the makers to build pages like this. And I actually think that whatever the market asks, the market is never wrong, because we as makers have to build what the market wants, right? And so people are not wrong in expecting that. And since we're doing what they really need, then we are also not wrong in having to build that. The problem might be that comparison tables themselves, they don't even scratch the surface, right? So it's like saying, if I'm comparing like Morgan Freeman, and then if I'm comparing some random TV, and then when I'm writing their figures, I'm saying actor check mark. So both of them like are actors,
Yeah.
that's for sure. There's a very very big difference in the scale and size and achievements of both those actors, small time TV actor, and then one Morgan
Yes, that's
Freeman, right?
right.
And
Like maybe
and that's what,
the
yeah,
time TV actor, right, can speak in 10 different languages and blah blah blah. So
maybe, yeah,
he will be checking off all everything on the
correct,
table. But
correct,
if you have a big time movie star like you said, maybe Morgan Freeman, then he only
yeah,
checks a few marks on the table,
correct,
but
correct,
like he can ask for a big prize, right, if you want him to star in your movie, right?
absolutely,
But some small time
absolutely.
TV actor who can speak in 10 different languages, I mean, I don't think he can demand as much as someone who is a established actor like that. Yeah, so I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I think tables are great for great many things. So tables are great for numbers, but they were never built for genuine, insightful comparison between anything, right? However, we still write them, and so this is something that we believe, and so before creating those pages or anything like that, even our canned response or our macro in intercom would always say that, hey, you asked for comparison with this particular tool. Here's the link for that. However, believe in the comparison table thing we've created because most people ask. We'd recommend that you sign up on tools and then make a decision for yourself, right? So we'd always kind of, whenever we would share that link anywhere, we would always say that, hey, just please, the tables are a really bad way of going about it. So that was the second. Um, I was it was great to see a lot of people turning up to support that tool and that platform and that found. It really speaks to the kind of work that they have done, not just in building the product but also in building the company and kind of getting them vocal and getting them active, bringing their love for that particular product, right? And so that was super inspirational. There are a lot of things for me to learn from there, for sure. Got a lot of feature in, so people saying, hey, that tool does this which you don't, and so we kind of digged up a little more, kind of learned from those as well. And so that it was a growing experience, a learning experience for us. And I'd like to add is that my position on the day that something like this happened, position on that day was that it would have been better had he just directly messaged something like that, instead of putting some community and then putting it out there. But now I think it was better that happened, because it helped us know a lot of pieces of information that we did not before. And so that's kind of where I am as far as this conversation is concerned, right? So um, lots of happening. However, comparison tables, if you see them anywhere, I mean, this is something that I firmly believe in. Whenever I see a comparison table, I don't trust it, unless it's like a scientific comparison table, right, where you're comparing like molecules or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
right. Yeah. So what I want to say is that I see a lot of people um, being passionate about the LTVs that they use, they own, and they get a lot of use out of, and I think that's fine. But I do recommend, right, that people don't be overly attached. Um,
Mhm.
uh, don't be overly attached. I mean, don't freak out, right? Every time, there is something that is a little bit controversial that happens, and then it's like, oh, this is why I would. I mean, they make sweeping statements like that. Don't be attached to any tools. Right? I mean, I love certain tools, and to be honest, I use them. But if you ask me, like I have mentioned this many times. I mean, in some private conversations with other LTV community members, right? Is that I will never vouch for any founder. I will never. I'll not vouch for any founder unless I'm really certain, right, that nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because I don't want my reputation to ever go down with them. I would, suggest strongly over a tool, but I will never vouch for,
Yeah.
this that this is the best or whatever it is. Don't be overly
Yeah.
attached, because what I've seen, uh previously there was, and I don't mind mentioning this person's name, right? It's Danny Postma from Headline, right? Everyone is crazy was crazy about this guy, right? It's just like, oh, this guy is amazing, he's like a saint, right? But look at what happens right now, right? I mean, it's, to be honest, it's just disgusting, purely disgusting, what he has done. Um and I don't mind, making this known to him as well. And don't That's why I say don't be attached to any tools. Just these are tools. It's like, would you be attached to your hammer or whatever? It's just a tool. Use it, and that's it, right? I mean, if
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
if it's broken, get a new one, right? That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, lastly, as we mentioned about this, is that every startup founder, would love to have a glorious exit as well. But many of them has left the lifetime license owners stranded and abandoned, such as PieSync and Headline, right? As I mentioned earlier, while some startups fail, we realize, they don't have money anymore, right? We understand they
Mhm.
cannot maintain the service for us. But those who succeed also seem to abandon their early supporters who funded them their marketing and
Mhm.
development budget in the first place, right? And they took
Yeah.
they have a better opportunity. They leave us, with nothing behind, right? So what is your perspective on this, and would you be putting any conditions down if, let's say, ClientJoy or Linkjoy, or your company as a whole, right, gets acquired, that these lifetime license owners are also protected? And if so, what would they
So
be?
sure, no, absolutely. So there are two ways to go about it. The first is where, let's say, if there is, and we've had a couple of acquisition offers where this has been essentially a starting point. That, hey, we've got these. So the first perspective that is that people who are investing, so people who are LTD buyers of a product are essentially an investor, right? And so if there is an investor who owns some equity in the company, when there is an exit, they get a return on it. And people who bought LTDs, so they should at least maintain LTD, or get some extra return on top of it, right? So that's the first thing. So thinking of the buyer as an investor. So that's the first perspective. The second is there are a couple of ways of going about it. If you start the conversation by saying, hey, these are the LTD subscribers we have. They've contributed XY value in terms of us making the right decisions. And give you a very simple example, right? A couple of people who have been influencers or admins of different groups have shared with me that you should focus on Instagram bio link aspect of Linkjoy. How
Yep.
valuable is that insight? Because not have that insight, I would be doing advertisements, I'd be doing product development. Now that I have insight, it will help me either narrow down our focus and kind of take that forward as well. And so all
Yes.
the insights that kind of come in through all of these conversations, they are super valuable, and the argument to be made to a potential acquirer that the reason why we are having this conversation, the reason why you are interested in us, is because we got these insights really early, and then our cost of learning was conversation
Yep.
with our LTD buyers, and so on and so forth. Is asking the acquirer to take care of the LTD users. Obviously, if that is not feasible, I'd say, the worst you can do is refund them, right? So give them the money
Yes.
back.
I definitely agree with
You
that.
are an exit. You getting an exit. You So let's say you $200,000, $300,000 of LTD sales on AppSumo or whatever, and then that's like 5 million. Bring that or build that price in to the acquirer. You say that to
Yes.
at this, while it's not a perfect, right? You've been using, let's say, pricing for 3 years. You are keeping on using it because you're getting more value than what you paid for it. It's not a perfect solution, but then that's the worst that you could do. So that's kind of where I am.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I have mentioned this many times as well, right? Is that to build that the exit amount, right? Build the cost of actually refunding the lifetime license owners, into the exit amount. I know that some people in the community says that lifetime deal is not lifetime. Yes, I do agree with that lifetime deal is not lifetime, but you are selling us lifetime deal, right? Then why are you doing that? Why don't you call it lifetime unless I sell my company, right? So this
Mhm.
by telling, if you are selling me a lifetime license, then I expect a lifetime license, right? If I buy a washing machine, I expect a washing machine, right? I expect,
Yeah.
if you say that there is a 10-year warranty on it, then I expect 10-year warranty on it, right? And if it's more than 10 years, right, and if you are still willing to fix it, then I don't mind paying you more money to fix it for me, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I feel is that is that people saying that, oh, I bought this LTD, I use it, I've made more than the cost of me paying for the LTD in the first place. I do agree with that. That's not wrong as well, right? But the thing is this, is that I invested in your company, right? It is an investment, but I don't actually have an equity in your business. I don't actually have an equity in your business, right? So and I have helped you to do all to give you so much feedback and stuff like that. And a lot of time when we buy into the LTD itself, we buy into the roadmap. We buy into the
Yeah.
roadmap that
Yeah.
your
For
team
sure.
currently does not do. And you exit
Yeah.
without even giving me my roadmap features, right? And then you're saying that I already got the benefit of owning the LTD already. Like,
Yeah.
not everyone, that does not happen to everyone, right? You know what I mean? So I think minimally is, just you should build that cost of refunding everyone, right, into the exit amount. I think it's perfectly justified to tell the acquirer that as well. You know,
Yeah.
if and to be honest, if the acquirer does not want to pay this amount, then I don't think that they are the right person to take over my business, right? And I definitely don't want to piss off thousands of people, that have purchased a LTV from me, right? I mean, that's my perspective, right? Yeah. So lastly, I had such a good time speaking to you, right? I didn't realize that we already more than
Same here.
an hour and 20 minutes already, right? So lastly, do
Okay.
you have anything that you want to share with our community? And then I'll just take a look and see if we have any questions, and then we can wrap this up as well. Yep.
Oh, just keep your feedbacks coming in. Please keep toes, push us where we are slacking, and kind of have us try and offer us as much insights as possible to steer, so that we can steer the ship and continue to offer you value, and hopefully in that process as well. So just these bring us, it is actually the whole.
Yeah, I think as just like others who have given you feedback, I think where Linkjoy really is strong in is actually the Instagram bio link, right? And I definitely do feel that that's something that you guys should really focus on and grow that feature first. Then and because if you are really strong in that, and then your other features such as link shortening and bio links, they serve as a good add-on to the main product itself. Like you should make. Oops, I guess we lost him. All right, I think that's good enough. We Yash has shared a lot of stuff with us, and I think we are going to wrap this up. And I don't see any questions in the comments as well. If you have any question, feel free to comment. I'll definitely try and get Yash to respond to all of you, and I'll see you in my next episode of Decisive Talks.